Have you ever longed for a simpler way to eat, where you felt like you no longer had to count things, you no longer had to feel controlled by food and diets? Well, if you've tried all the things and you want to hear a story of somebody who has broken free, we want to invite you to listen to Joy today on Kingdom Fit Moms, who is going to tell you her story of simplicity when it comes to food. So let's get started. Hey, welcome to the Kingdom Fit Moms podcast, where we believe that you can go on a journey to lose weight for the last time. I know you've tried all the things and you may not believe me yet, but when you do weight loss the Kingdom Fit Moms way, everything changes. You're in the right place if weight is constantly on your mind, you're confused about food, you're missing out on memories, and maybe even putting your dreams off for another day because this weight struggle is no joke. We're a community and we're on a mission to invite God into this weight loss journey so you can shed the burden and shine your light. I want you to start living and believing in the version of yourself that heaven sees. Let's get started. If you haven't already, you need to stop this podcast right now and come sign up for our brand new weight loss boot camp that starts April 28th. I'm going to walk you through everything you're learning from Joy in this podcast today on breaking free from diet culture, how to invite God into the journey, how to simplify food, all of it in 3 days. And we're going to start on April 28th, and we want you there. Do not miss out on this free opportunity to learn about Christian weight loss and how it can totally transform your life. Hop down to the show notes to save your spot today. Hi, Joy. Welcome to Kingdom
Hi.
Moms.
Hi, Kelsey.
So exciting to have you.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
Joy and I are real life friends. We know each other outside of Fit Moms, but It's a lot of fun to have this conversation, and I know your story is going to inspire some ladies today. So tell us a little bit about you and what life is like.
Yeah, so I am a wife and a mom to two kids, ages almost 5 and a year and a half. So they keep me busy, running all around the house, which is fun. Yeah, so really my life consists of that. And then I own a small photo editing business. So we keep pretty busy around here. It's fun. It's a lot of chaos, but it's fun.
Love it. And I always love to ask my interviewees, what are 3 things you're loving right now? It can be anything in the whole world.
Anything at all. So when I started this program, I realized I think I need a protein powder that's like clean and that I actually like the taste of. So I tried a couple and I've landed on one called Equip, and it tastes really good. The ingredients are clean, so I'm enjoying that. I kind of use it to just fill in if I need some extra protein. And then I put like my probiotic in it and everything too. And then I'm really loving our backyard right now. Like things are starting to turn green, and we just opened our pool, so we're getting that started. We just got a trampoline, so we're like envisioning summers in our yard that are just going to be awesome. So, and then I have a ladies' Bible study that I'm really loving at church. We get together on Friday mornings, and they're mostly all moms, and we just chat about motherhood and what we're doing in life. And then we've started to meet on play dates now. So it's been really good. I really loved it.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thanks so much for sharing. I have not heard of that protein powder, by the way. I'll have to check it out. But
Yeah.
I also am really excited that things are turning green and spring is here. So
Yeah,
good stuff.
it's exciting.
So tell us a little bit about what life was like for you and your health journey before we met and started working together in Fit Moms.
Yeah. So I kind of would go up and down. I started out when I first got married very thin, but like I didn't really have to do anything to maintain that. I could eat a Frosty every day and be weigh the same. And then after I got married, the pounds just kind of seemed to pack on. So I kind of gone back and forth ever since then. So that was 15 years ago. In the last 5 years, I've had two kids. So, my hormones have probably been all over the place. And I just, with my busy life, needed something that I could sustain. So I had done Whole30. I had done, I think, some paleo and keto here and there. But it was just like I couldn't quite land on something that I could sustain over a long period of time. And just about any time I layout of desserts would be in front of me, I just had no self control. And so um, just really yo-yoed a lot, I guess you could say, and kind of bounced from diet to diet. Would gain 10 pounds, lose 10 pounds, gain 20, lose 20, just that whole yo-yo. So once I started working with you, though, I felt like you really helped hone it into simplicity, which is really what I needed with our busy life. So your emphasis on real food and just daily movement, the daily walks, 2.5 to 3 miles a day. It's like, okay, that is something I think I can actually do. And real food just makes it very easy for me to make decisions on in the moment and on the fly. So I would kind of freeze and I either would like eat nothing or I would be like, well, we're just going to throw it all out the window and eat 5 donuts because who cares? So this has really helped me to, when I'm in those situations, decide, okay, let's eat the most real food option and, restaurants, birthday parties, whatever. And then if every once in a while I see the piece of chocolate cake and I'm like, you know what, that's worth it, but I'm not going to eat the bun with the sandwich, whatever. So it just really simplified it for me. And I feel like it's like 6 months later and I'm still doing the walks, which is not what I was like before. I kind of would just fall off the wagon pretty quickly on different things. So yeah, I feel like that's been the shift for
Yes.
me.
I love that word simplicity, and it really can be simple, right? We
Yeah.
don't have to be counting a bunch of stuff and doing CrossFit unless you want to. And so that's really what I love about your story, Joy, is that it's such an encouragement for moms who have a lot of things going on. You work, you have little kids, you run your household, there's a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
I love that. And you've kind of alluded to some of this, some of your breakthroughs being continuing to walk 6 months later. What are some of the other wins that you've had in your health journey over the past 6 months?
Yeah. So I just realized today I've lost 16 pounds in
Yay.
6 months. So that's a win. But I feel like I have more self-control. Like last night, we had our small group and we had pulled pork sandwiches. Somebody brought donuts. And I just like looked at it and thought, I'm fine just having the meat. I don't need the bun. And I'm fine without the donut. Like I really don't need it. And then, whereas in the past, I think I would be like, but the donut is there. I know I like donuts. I think I'm going to have everyone else is having one. Something I really struggled with what was feeling left out if other people and feeling like I needed food to join in with the gathering. And I think over the course of the last 6 months, I've really started to realize that connection with people is the most important thing instead of the food. And so those are some pretty big wins for me. And not that I never have a cookie, but I I think I just think about it more and really ask myself, is this something that I really want, or am I just eating it because everyone else is and I think this is part of the connection? So yeah, those are some big wins for me.
Yeah, I think that's really common, that mindset of feeling left out or that I'm missing out if I don't eat the thing, and ultimately not having control around food. And so I love that you said, I can still have the cookie, I can still have the cake, because I do too sometimes, right? But it's just this mindset of, but the cake doesn't rule me, and I can say no if I want to, right?
Yes, exactly. I do feel like sugar doesn't control my life anymore. And when I compare Christmas, like not this past Christmas, but the one before, I couldn't stop eating sugar. And, I felt terrible at the end of the day, but I was just like, I can't stop. I feel like I couldn't stop. And this last Christmas, through the program, we had made a plan like, what are your non negotiables? What are things you do want to enjoy? And what are the things that and it was totally different like a whole year later. And when I compared the two, I just thought, wow, that really is a change. And it's a mindset change. And I felt really good about it. And again, I enjoyed a few pieces of chocolate, a few of my mom's favorite cookies, but I didn't go crazy. And I felt like I could use self control which was awesome.
Yay. Amen. I love that. And you mentioned that you had tried paleo and some other diet plans in the past. Can you share a little bit about what it was like to invite God into the journey this time around and how that made a difference for you?
Yeah, so inviting God in, I think it really brought the purpose of things into focus for me when I started to realize my health is actually connected to my assignment on this earth. Like what God has called me to do, be a mom, start businesses, run businesses, be a good wife, run my household. All that takes a lot of energy. It takes uh a lot of energy. So
Yeah.
and I started to think through when I'm older, I want to be able to still serve the Lord without a lot of restrictions. I know there's some things out of our control, but I did start to realize I think there are some things I can start now that will serve me even when I'm older. And that picture really came into focus for me. And when I invited the Lord into it, I just really felt like it was a confirmation of I have put you on this earth for an assignment. These are your assignments. And I need you to do your part to make sure that your body can keep up with all of that. And the Lord gave us our bodies. And I just feel like He also gave us food. And I do think that connection with real food also was very spiritual for me too, because when you see it as like God's master plan and He made food to fuel us in really great ways, then you start to see it as like, oh wow, what I'm eating now has purpose instead of just like mindlessly eating. And that really pulled it together for me, I think, in my brain. And again, it's a decision by decision basis where you're like, in the moment, you're eating the cookie. Like a couple weeks ago, I did get into, I was just like stress eating, and but I feel like I could stop myself and then the next day say, I'm going to get right back on the wagon.
Mhm.
And so, but having that God piece is just really important because you do need help when the cookie's sitting right in front of you.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that part's been really good.
Love that. And I love that mindset. I mean, that's really the heart behind what we do is shifting from, oh, I have to do this, and instead seeing it as like, thank you, Lord, that I get to do this, that we have fuel that serves our body well instead of seeing it like, oh, I have to avoid all of these things. That's really the heart of what will carry us forward. So I'm so glad you've discovered that. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Um, and tell us a little bit more about your experience inside of the academy. If somebody wanted to invite God into the journey, would you recommend Fit Moms Academy? And what else would you like to share about your experience there?
Yeah, so 100%. I don't feel like there's a lot of weight loss programs or whatever that invite God into it as directly as I saw in Kingdom Fit Moms and really the community. Now, I went back and forth on being like really good about posting. So I don't want to be like, I was an amazing poster. However, the posting and the weekly Zoom chats, I just really felt like, especially spiritually, I knew there were other like-minded women and they would be speaking to that part of it, not just like, the weight loss part. And that was really important because we're a whole person. So spiritually, physically, it's all connected in my mind. And so having other women speak to that, I know Jess like is just really encouraging on that part. I think she did a Zoom thing on one of our calls, and she was talking about the spiritual aspect of this is for God's glory. Like our bodies are for God's glory. That really hit home for me, and I feel like that was a major part of the community that's different.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the accountability is huge. We have our walk challenges that really motivated me. I didn't always hit the goal. December, I did hit the goal, but I got sick one of the weeks, so I got really behind on miles. So that last week of December, I walked an insane amount of miles.
And it was cold, so that's
It was
impressive.
cold. Yes, so it really like okay, but I just decided I can do this and I can get to the goal. And it was hard, but I did it and I felt proud of myself. And so those challenges really are helpful too. Um, and having other women knowing they were doing it as well. And then going through the holidays, and I just feel like you had a really good plan for, hey, this is how we're going to strategize. Everybody's kind of doing a similar program of strategy. What are the things you're going to splurge on a little bit? And then what are the things that are your non-negotiables? And we're still going to be walking even during Christmas time. We're still going to be doing all those things. And I felt like that really kept me on track on days where I usually would throw it all out the window. So the community was huge, and the competitions were fun. So
yeah, weight loss doesn't have to be boring and horrible, right? We like to have fun and
yes.
Sometimes our calls, for those of you who are listening who are wondering, what do you do? Sometimes our calls can be geared more towards the deeper spiritual roots of why are we struggling. And then we also like to have fun. We have coffee chats. We like to do walking challenges, and we're doing a strength challenge this month, all sorts of things that make it fun. So I'm so glad that you have had fun along with us, Joy.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. And I will just say my husband has turned to me and made comments like, wow, this is different than the other things you've done to try to, lose weight or get healthy. And he actually started to get jealous. He was like, I'm kind of jealous of your progress. And he started like getting back on track with food and stuff. So he noticed it too. He's like, this has been a really good program. So
that's awesome. That's like the best compliment, right? When
yes.
Gets on board.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say you were having coffee with somebody who is struggling with weight. How would you encourage her if she felt like maybe how you felt, or how a lot of women feel like they've tried everything, they can't get off this diet roller coaster? What would you say to her?
I think I would say really focus in on your why. When you imagine yourself in that future self you really want to be, and you focus on that picture in your brain, I think it keeps you motivated. That was one thing that I really helped me. Was there's a module, I think, of making a vision board. And I think at first I was like, okay, well, this really vision board. When I made it, I just realized this is the picture in my head of what I want to be, in 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, when I'm older. And it did really help when I wanted to like give up or make a bad choice in the moment. I would think of that future self, or that where I wanted to be, and the jeans I wanted to fit into. It's that, but it's also bigger picture things too. So I think that was super motivating for me. And I think that's what I would tell her, is that really think about who you want to be and write it out, put a vision board up like Kelsey recommends, and look at it and say, I can get there with God's help. And what do I need to do? What are the steps? And then take the bite-sized steps. It's like, it's simple. It's not super complicated. So yeah.
Amen. Yeah. And I think when we can shift our thinking to that long-term, what do I actually want, right? Versus being in the moment. So the more you're looking at that vision board or that why, the more it reminds you when we're having those moments of weakness, right? Like, oh,
yeah,
this isn't what I actually want right now.
yes, exactly. Or do I want the vision board more than I want this donut?
Yes.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Yay. Well, thank you, Joy, for sharing your story. And again, I just appreciate how your approach is just that it can be simple and you can do this. And you've just been such a great example to all of us inside of Fit Mom. So thanks for taking the time to share today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Kelsey.
Hey Fit Mom, if this episode blessed you today and you can think of somebody else who's struggling in her weight loss journey, would you consider sharing this week's episode with her to give her a sense of hope? And then while you're at it, hop on over to our free Facebook community, Kingdom Fit Moms, for daily encouragement and support. Let's go shed the weight to shine the light.